They never told you the very comfort you seek is a subtle cage binding you. You wake up every day, you walk the same streets, you perform the same rituals, you call it routine, stability. You've been told this is what a man is supposed to do, to build a life of predictable comfort, to be the calm center of a storm, and for a long time, it feels right, it feels like you're in control. You have a vision of yourself, the man who is measured, who is strong, who doesn't let his emotions get the better of him. He is the man in the mirror, he smiles back, and you believe him, but there is a passenger in your mind, isn't there? A shadow in the periphery of your awareness. It's the part of you that feels a flash of cruel satisfaction when a rival fails. It's the whisper in your ear when you are with a woman you desire, telling you to break all the rules, to risk everything. This voice is not your conscience, and it's not some random impulse. It's a coherent, persistent entity that lives just below the surface of your conscious mind. It's the part of you that wants to shatter the glass of your perfect, stable life just to see the chaos of the pieces. Hidden deep within every decision and every ambition is an unnamed, primal instinct. You call it ambition, the drive to provide, the desire to succeed, but what if it's simpler and far more unsettling than that? What if the relentless pursuit of more money, more influence, more validation, is nothing more than a subconscious attempt to fill a void you're not even aware exists? This isn't an evil nature you need to fix. This is the unseen conductor orchestrating your relationships, your status, and your pursuit of influence. This is the true source of your drive, and it's been working behind the scenes your entire life. It's the reason you said that cutting remark you immediately regretted. It's the surge of possessiveness that tightens your stomach. It's the flicker of rage that explodes when you're driving. These aren't random, they are moments when your true self, the self you've buried, leaks out into the world. Think back to the last time you were in a situation where you felt completely out of control. Maybe it was a heated argument, or a moment of intense frustration. In that moment, the calm, measured man you present to the world vanished. A different energy took over, a rawer, more primitive version of you. The words that came out of your mouth, the thoughts that flashed through your mind, they were not aligned with the person you strive to be. They were a glimpse of the man in the back of the room, the one who doesn't follow the rules, the one you've silenced for so long. He wasn't a mistake, he was an exposure. Welcome. Tonight, we expose the hidden corners of desire, underlying motives, and inner battles. If you've ever felt a profound unease you couldn't name, or a sense that you are performing your own life instead of living it, stay, this is for you. We're not here to give you another set of rules to follow. We are here to give you a map of the territory inside you that you've been told to ignore. We are going to shine a light into the darkest corners of your own psychology, not to judge them, but to understand them. To understand the part of you that has been pulling the strings all along, the one that holds the key to true power and influence. Like this video, subscribe if you're ready to see the dark truth most men never face. Take a slow breath, let's go deeper, but that's only the surface, the real danger hides deeper. Most men don't realize the qualities they despise in others are the very things they've locked away in their own subconscious. You remember him. The guy at work who never shuts up, who takes credit for every idea, who laughs a little too loudly in meetings. You despise him, he's arrogant, a showman. You see him as everything you are not, everything you would never be. But why does his presence feel like a jagged stone in your stomach? Why does his voice echo in your head long after he's left the room? The answer is uncomfortable. It's because he is holding a mirror to the part of you you killed long ago. The loud, confident part of you that wanted to be seen, the part that believed it had something important to say, but was silenced by shame, by a father's disapproval, or by a quiet, inner voice that told you to sit down, to blend in. You buried that man in a silent grave, and now, every time you see him resurrected in someone else, it triggers a deep, profound resentment. You are not just criticizing him, you are punishing yourself for letting that part of you die. Think about the most irritating, the most infuriating person in your life, the person who makes your blood boil. Now, take a slow, hard look at the exact qualities you hate about them. Is it their arrogance, their effortless social dominance, their refusal to play by the rules? Now, ask yourself a question that will feel like a profound betrayal. Do I hate this person, or do I hate the part of myself that secretly wishes it had the courage to be them? This isn't about becoming a carbon copy of someone you despise. This is about acknowledging that the fire you see in them, no matter how chaotic, is a fire that once burned within you. You doused it, locked it away, and now you have to face the coldness of what's left. The disdain you feel for them is a shield you use to protect yourself from the unsettling truth of your own suppressed desires. It is a defense mechanism. A way of saying, I am not that, so you don't have to confront the uncomfortable whisper that says, I want to be that. You are analyzing them, but what you are truly seeing is you. Every judgment you make, every criticism you level against another man, is a key to a locked door inside your own mind. It reveals what you fear, what you desire, what you have disowned. This is the first step toward understanding the shadow, a realization that your external world is a reflection of your internal one. And with this new, uneasy clarity comes a dangerous question. What happens when the thing you've been fighting so hard to bury finally breaks free? What feels like freedom is actually a hidden urge pulling you toward the very things you swore you'd never do. Think about the moment the mask cracks. The stable life you've built, the dependable man you present to the world, the quiet, disciplined choices you make, all of it is a fortress you constructed to keep something out, and you believe it's working, you believe you're in command. But then, a flicker, a sudden, powerful urge to do something you know is reckless, illogical, even self-destructive. It's not a thought, it's a pull, a gravitational force from a part of you that has been silent for too long. You're in a comfortable, committed relationship. It's solid, safe, yet, one night, at a bar, a woman catches your eye. You find yourself smiling, talking, flirting in a way you haven't in years. In that instant, it feels like a forgotten freedom. An escape, you feel alive, but that rush isn't freedom. It's the shadow, the part of you that craves chaos and validation, breaking through the wall of your controlled life. It's the thrill of the forbidden, not as a choice you're making, but as an old instinct you're obeying. You are a passenger, watching as this other part of you takes the wheel. This isn't a moment of weakness, it's a moment of truth. You can rationalize it later, and it was just a bit of fun, and it didn't mean anything, but in the quiet moments, you know it was a crack in your armor. The part of you that wants to be wild, to be dangerous, to prove its own power, took over. You think you're choosing to be free, but you're actually being controlled by the very thing you've worked so hard to suppress. The decision wasn't yours, it was the shadow's. It's the same force that pulls a financially responsible man toward a reckless gamble, a disciplined man toward a night of excess. What you perceive as a rebellion against your own rules is simply the shadow demanding its moment in the sun. It's a taste of what lies beneath the surface, a reminder of the raw, untamed self you've buried. And when that moment passes, it leaves a cold trail of questions and a lingering feeling that something is deeply, profoundly wrong. The thrill is gone, replaced by a hollow sensation, a quiet, unsettling guilt, a feeling of shame. The moments you're most ashamed of reveal the true face of the self you've been trying so hard to hide, that heavy, burning sensation. The cold knot in your stomach, that's not just regret, that's shame. It's the ego, your curated self, recoiling in horror from the part of you it tried to bury. Think of the last time it happened. Maybe it was a flash of road rage that came from nowhere, a raw, primal aggression that made you feel like a stranger in your own body. Or perhaps it was a moment of cold, calculated cruelty, a lie you told to gain an advantage, a manipulation you executed with chilling precision. The shame isn't just for the action itself, it's for the exposure. The deed is done, but the feeling lingers because a part of you was revealed that you desperately wanted to keep locked away. You feel ashamed because you saw, for one terrifying moment, who you really are beneath the performance. You are not just the calm, controlled man you present to the world, you are also the one who wants to scream, to lash out, to dominate. The shame is a quiet, desperate attempt to put the mask back on. It's a whisper that says, "That wasn't me. I am not that person," but a deeper, darker voice knows the truth. Shame is the shadow's footprint. It is the emotional echo left behind when the real you briefly escaped its cage. It's the profound discomfort of seeing the shadow's reflection in a public place. It's why we obsess over these moments, replaying them in our heads, punishing ourselves. We're not trying to learn from them, we're trying to erase them. We're trying to convince ourselves that the person who did that isn't really us, but he is. He is the authentic, raw, and untamed part of you that society forced you to suppress. This is the true danger of denying your shadow. You don't get rid of it, you just make it cunning. You make it an expert at finding ways to leak out, often at the most inconvenient and embarrassing times. It uses the very rules you live by to sneak past your defenses. And in the dark, quiet space that shame creates, it grows, it observes, it waits for the next opportunity to reveal itself, to grab control, to prove that it is the master of your own house. And its favorite tool, its most potent weapon, is a desire you cannot shake. The desire you fight hardest is the one that owns you, not because it's evil, but because it's the shadow's most potent weapon. You know the feeling, that pull. The one you spend so much energy resisting. It's not a quiet suggestion, it's a siren song. Maybe it's the need to dominate a conversation, to assert your will, even when you know it's not the right time. Or maybe it's a more physical, visceral urge, a desire for a woman you know is off limits, a longing for a kind of reckless freedom that would shatter the stable life you've built. You tell yourself, "I am a disciplined man, I am in control." And every time you push that feeling down, you feel a small, fleeting victory, but that victory is an illusion. The more you fight the desire, the more powerful it becomes. The shadow doesn't care if you give in to it or if you fight it. It wins either way, because in the battle itself, it proves its power over you. The very act of resisting is an acknowledgement of its existence, a constant reminder of the primal force that lives inside you. You are trapped in a war of your own making, and your energy is the fuel. Consider the ambition that drives you. You chase status, power, respect. You call it a pursuit of excellence, a quest for success. But what if it's just the shadow's hunger for dominance, masked in a respectable suit? What if the desire to climb the ladder isn't for a better life, but for the raw, intoxicating feeling of being on top, of having power over others? This is the shadow's cunning. It uses a socially acceptable desire to get what it truly wants. Control. Every man has a secret, forbidden desire he believes he has conquered, but the truth is you haven't conquered it. You've simply driven it deeper into the dark, where it operates without your conscious awareness, pulling the strings of your decisions, your reactions, and your deepest insecurities. You've been blaming the world, the competition, your circumstances. You've been fighting the wrong enemy. The single person who sabotages you most is the one staring back from the mirror. You've been blaming the world, but the single person who sabotages you most is the one staring back from the mirror. This is the moment of quiet horror. The moment the flickering lights in the back of your mind go still and the pieces finally click into place. You look at your life, the missed opportunities, the relationships that fell apart at the last minute, the projects that were so close to a breakthrough before they were inexplicably ruined. You've always had a reason: bad timing, unfair bosses. People who just didn't understand you, and you believed it. You told yourself the world is a hard place. It's a struggle, but tonight, you must face a more terrifying truth. It wasn't the world, it was you. Not the conscious, hard-working you that shows up every day, but the one you've been carrying in your shadow. The part of you that fears success more than it fears failure, the part of you that knows if you climb too high, there will be more to lose. It's the part of you that finds comfort in the familiar prison of your own mediocrity, because at least there, the rules are known. Think of the time you were on the verge of a major promotion. The final presentation was perfect. All you had to do was deliver it, but a day before, you were up all night with a feeling you couldn't name, restlessness, a sense of unease. You told yourself it was nerves. You made a foolish mistake the next morning, a small, uncharacteristic error that derailed the entire thing. You were convinced it was a random act of bad luck, but it wasn't. It was a conscious decision by your subconscious, the shadow, to protect itself from the unpredictable vulnerability that comes with true power. Your shadow is not just a collection of bad impulses. It is also a defense mechanism, a part of you that sees your greatest potential as a profound threat. It sees the happiness you could have and feels a cold, primal fear, so it sabotages you, using your own hands, your own mouth, your own thoughts. It makes you feel like the victim, so you never have to face the truth. You were the architect of your own downfall. This isn't a battle you can win by fighting. The power you crave isn't found in destroying your shadow, but in the quiet, uneasy moment you stop fighting it. The power you crave isn't found in destroying your shadow, but in the quiet, uneasy moment you stop fighting it. You've spent your entire life in a war you couldn't win, a war against a part of yourself. Every time you pushed down a forbidden thought, every time you silenced a primal urge, you believed you were winning, you believed you were a disciplined man. But all you were doing was training a silent, formidable enemy, an enemy that knows your weaknesses better than you do. An enemy that has been feeding on your resistance. Now, it's time for a strategic retreat. This isn't a surrender to darkness. It is a profound shift in perspective. Imagine the last time you felt a surge of rage. That cold, burning sensation that demanded to be let out. Your natural instinct was to fight it, to suppress it, to clench your jaw and tell yourself to be calm. And what happened? The pressure built until it either exploded or it left you drained and exhausted. What if, instead of fighting it, you just acknowledged it? What if you let the rage come, not to act on it, but to simply witness it? To say, I see you, I see this anger, I know you are a part of me. That is the moment the war ends. The shadow, so used to being fought and denied, is suddenly disarmed. It's a strange, unnerving feeling. The rage doesn't disappear instantly, but it changes. It loses its command over you because you have taken away the power of the fight. This is the uneasy acceptance. It is not a moment of joy. It is a moment of cold, hard clarity. You are looking at the beast you have been carrying inside you your entire life, and you are no longer trying to kill it. You are simply letting it be. You are recognizing that it is not a foreign invader but a native resident of your own mind. And in this quiet, profound moment of non-resistance, you take back the power. You are no longer controlled by the need to fight. This is the first, difficult step. The man who truly knows himself learns to negotiate with his own darkness instead of constantly running from it. The man who truly knows himself learns to negotiate with his own darkness instead of constantly running from it. You've made peace with the idea that the shadow exists. You've stopped fighting, but acceptance is just the first step. True power comes from what you do next. It's not enough to simply witness the beast. You must learn to negotiate with it. To do this, you must first understand its language. The shadow does not speak in words. It speaks in desires, in impulses, in primal needs for power, for chaos, for release. Your job is not to give in to these impulses blindly, but to channel their energy, to give them a job to do. Consider the parts of your shadow you've been most afraid of. Is it your aggression? The part of you that wants to dominate and assert itself? For years, you saw this as a liability, something to be suppressed. Now, see it as a tool. Channel that aggressive energy not into lashing out, but into a relentless pursuit of your goals. Put it into a competitive sport. Use it to work harder than anyone else. Give that part of you a safe, contained space to express itself. You are not killing the beast, you are taming it and putting it to work. You are making your darkness an ally, not an enemy. What about your hunger for forbidden pleasure? That desire you fought so hard against? The shadow isn't asking you to destroy your life, it's asking for a release. Your task is to provide that release on your own terms. This could be in creative expression, in a physically demanding challenge, in the thrill of building something from nothing. The shadow's energy is a raw, unrefined power source. You've been treating it like a poison. It's time to see it for what it is. A profound source of fuel. Every man who achieves true, lasting power does so not by suppressing his darkness, but by harnessing it. He understands that the very impulses that could destroy him can also be the engine of his greatest triumphs. He knows his own triggers, his own weaknesses, and he uses that knowledge to his advantage. This is not about becoming a better person in the conventional sense. This is about becoming a more complete, more powerful man. This is about integration. The true freedom you seek isn't in escaping your shadow, but in finally giving it a place at the table. The true liberation you seek isn't in escaping your shadow, but in finally giving it a place at the table. For years, you've lived as a fractured man. One part of you, the conscious, respectable self, sat at the head of the table. The other, the shadow, was chained in the basement, rattling its bars, making noise, and causing trouble. You believed this was the only way to be a good man, a successful man. You believed that one part of you had to win, and the other had to lose. This is the great lie that keeps most men from their true potential. True liberation isn't about being good, it's about being whole. It's about walking down to that basement, unlocking the door, and inviting the shadow to sit at the table with the rest of you. This is a terrifying, profound moment. It is the moment you accept that the man who wants to dominate, the man who craves forbidden things, the man who feels a cold, quiet rage, is you. He is not a separate entity, he is a part of your complete psychology. You are not bringing him to the table to give him total control. You are bringing him to the table to listen to what he has to say, to understand his needs, his fears, his unique intelligence. The shadow is not a monster. It is a repository of your rawest, most potent energy. It contains the power of your ambition, the fierceness of your protective instincts, and the uninhibited creativity you were told to suppress. By giving it a seat, you are not surrendering to chaos, you are bringing a new, powerful voice into your council. This is the path to becoming a truly powerful man. You stop wasting your energy fighting an internal war and start redirecting it to the outside world. The ambition of the shadow becomes the drive that builds your empire. The primal aggression becomes the force that protects your family and your interests. The dark wisdom of forbidden desires becomes the insight that allows you to read other men, to see the games they are playing. Because you know the game from the inside out, you have become one. The man who understands his shadow no longer fears the darkness, because he knows he can wield it. The man who understands his shadow no longer fears the darkness, because he knows he can wield it. You have walked a path few men dare to take. You started with a vague feeling of unease, a sense that something was wrong. You discovered that the thing you hated most in others was a part of yourself. You felt the subtle crack in your control, the shame of exposure, and the terrible power of your deepest desires. You stood in front of a mirror and realized you were the architect of your own sabotage, but then you made a difficult choice. You stopped fighting the beast, you walked down into the darkness and negotiated with it, and now you have reached the final stage. You are no longer a man divided, you are whole. The energy that once drove you toward chaos now powers your discipline. The aggression you feared becomes the unshakable certainty in your convictions. The cunning you suppressed becomes the insight that allows you to read a room, to see the hidden motives in a deal, to understand the game before anyone else even knows it has begun. This is the wisdom that separates the men who get by from the men who truly command their own lives. You are not a good man in the simple, childlike sense of the word. You are a complete man. You are dangerous, but only to those who underestimate you. You are kind, but not naive. You are powerful, because you are no longer a slave to your own hidden desires. You have integrated your darkness. You have learned to see the world not as a simple stage of good versus evil, but as a complex interplay of light and shadow, and you are no longer afraid of either. You can look at another man's flaws and no longer recoil, because you recognize them as a mirror of your own. This gives you a profound, almost supernatural sense of perspective, a quiet, unsettling confidence. You are no longer trying to prove anything to anyone. The war is over. The man you have become is not a product of your light, but a product of your complete self. Tonight, when you face your reflection, take a moment. You will see the man who has done his best to be good, to be strong, to be what he was told to be. But now, you will also see the other part, the one with the untamed eyes and the quiet, unsettling power. You'll see the part of you they told you to kill, but it never left, and for the first time, you will not flinch. The journey is over, but your path has only just begun. You came here seeking to analyze others, but what you've found is a deeper, more unsettling truth about yourself. You have walked through the darkness of your own mind, faced the suppressed parts of your ambition, the hidden roots of your shame, and the quiet fear that has sabotaged you at every turn. You have seen the man you were told to kill, and you have chosen not to bury him again, but to give him a place at the table. This is the end of the video, but it is the beginning of a profound, and often difficult, new way of living. The man who is whole is a force to be reckoned with. He is a man who can read others like an open book because he is no longer lying to himself. He can operate with a chilling clarity and a quiet confidence that few can match. This is not about becoming a monster. It is about becoming complete. It is about taking the full, immense power of who you are and turning it from a liability into your greatest asset. Tonight, when you face your reflection, take a moment. You will see the man who has done his best to be good, to be strong, to be what he was told to be. But now, you will also see the other part, the one with the untamed eyes and the quiet, unsettling power. You'll see the part of you they told you to kill, but it never left, and for the first time, you will not flinch. If you are ready to continue this journey, if you crave more of this forbidden knowledge, then subscribe. And in the comments below, share one small, unsettling truth you've discovered about your own shadow. I'll be there, watching.